In this video, we'll add these two rational expressions, and rational expressions are just big fractions. So just like fractions, we need to have a least common denominator to add these. And the easiest way to find the least common denominator, the LCD, with rational expressions is to factor the denominators. And then you can see which factors are in common and which factors each denominator needs, and so on. So I'll start by just factoring this denominator. I've got x plus 7 in the numerator, and in the denominator I'll factor out an x, and so that's x times the quantity a minus b. And next fraction, next rational expression, I have y plus 9 in the numerator. In the denominator, now I want to have this factor a minus b. If I factored out a y, I would have b minus a. So there's a little trick you can do when you have those, when you have the subtraction reversed. You can factor out a negative quantity. So I'm going to factor out a negative y. And now look at what happens. Instead of it being b minus a, it's going to be a minus b. And the reason is you have to make it so that if you were to multiply this negative y through again, you would get what you have up here in the original. So negative y times a is negative ay, that's correct. And negative y times negative b is positive by, so that's correct. So that's a little trick you can do to switch the direction. You could just factor out a negative 1. I did factor out a negative 1 times y here, or negative y. Okay, now we need an LCD. The LCD is, I like to think of it as just listing all of the factors that we have. So we have an x, we have a y, and I'll mess with that negative y in just a bit, and we have an a minus b. So that's going to be our least common denominator. First, let's rewrite this. This is plus a negative. So just like if you had 5 plus negative 3, you'd have 5 minus 3. So this is plus a negative. I'm just going to make a minus here and take this negative sign and move it up here. So I'm going to rewrite that and come right back to you. Okay, there we are. So it's x plus 7 over x times the quantity a minus b minus this next part. And again, instead of saying plus a minus, I just said it's minus all of this. Okay, so just to give you an example, like if we said 5 plus negative 3, that's the same as 5 minus 3. That's all we did there. So nothing special. All right, I'm going to cross that out so we don't think that that's part of this problem. All right, to get our LCD, x times y times a minus b, this is missing a y. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by y. I'll put parentheses here so I don't mix that up. And when I distribute that y throughout, I'm going to get x times y plus 7y all over x times y times a minus b minus, and this fraction and this rational expression, I need to multiply the numerator and denominator by x, and I am going to multiply that, distribute that through, and so now I have xy, let's put that in black so it looks the same. I have xy plus 9x. That's in the numerator. Our denominator is x times y times a minus b. Okay, now we're in pretty good shape. We've got a least common denominator. Now we just need to subtract these. Remember, we changed it into a subtraction problem. And when you subtract, remember that you are subtracting this entire expression, the xy plus 9x. So that minus sign is going to get distributed and change the signs of what we have in here. So now, and I'm going to put this all over the same numerator, over the same denominator, sorry. I have xy plus 7y. All right, that's from the first fraction. And then I have minus xy. This is from the second part. In fact, I'll put this in a different color just so we can follow what's going on. I have minus xy minus 9x. All right, and that's all over that LCD, that least common denominator xy a minus b. Okay, got it. Hey, look at what happens to us. This is good for us. We like it when things work out. Simplify. We've got xy minus xy. Those cancel out. So in the numerator, we're on the home stretch now. In the numerator, we have 7y minus 9x. And that is all over our LCD that we already know. xy times the quantity a minus b. There you go. I hope that helps.